Hello and welcome to yet another edition of Let's Talk on DNTWOK. My name is Olujoke, and it's been wonderful to know that you are always there to watch us. Well, on this episode of Let's Talk this week is going to be about betrayal. It's precisely the sting of betrayal. How painful can it be? I actually wrote something. I said we will be exploring the consequences of deceit and manipulation, both in personal and professional level. Of course, maybe some of you might be wondering why betrayal and all of that. Betrayal can come from any level, and that's why we're here to discuss it. Well, before we delve into the program, I would like to remind you to please subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on all of our social media platforms. And until then, please enjoy this ride with me.
J.K. Royal Signatures, a blend of African fabric.
Yes, my guest is Mrs. Modupeola Olatunde. She is a coach and counselor. She was here sometimes back, and she has always been, a supporter of DNTWOK, and I'm so glad that we have her again. Thank you so much, Ma, for coming on the show. It's nice having you again and again and again. I appreciate your time.
Hello, people. Thanks for always having me. I am humbled. Thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am. So the topic is the sting of betrayal. How would you define betrayal? What are those things that you can use to actually know this is this betrayal or something else?
Thank you very much. I have written down here, betrayal means breaking trust. There is an agreement between you and I. There is an acceptable dealing between you and I, and you decided to break it. Breaking trust, breaking loyalty, often by acting against someone's expectation or confidence. You called me that, Mrs. Olatunde, I'd like you and I to visit this so place concerning this so thing on a particular date and time. The thing is actually to your advantage, but because perhaps I have the energy or the vibes or the capability or the capacity to support you. You believed in me, you trusted in me, and you informed me of such a plan. Then lo and behold, the day comes and I gave you a flimsy excuse that I will not be available due to one thing or one reason or the other. And you believe me, I rescheduled the meeting. Then few days later, you get to know that I actually went to the place. I got what you were supposed to get. And the dealings you were supposed to get that you only trusted me to inform me about is now mine. You see, such things has destroyed lives. We'll get there. We'll talk about the dangers of it and how it affects people. I have it. It can happen in personal relationships. It can happen between friends in friendships, workplaces, or even larger groups like organizations or nations. In an organization where a president gathers his other ESCO members, the treasurer, the secretary, the PRO, the vice president, or board members, and you discuss maybe it's time for a new set of ESCOs to emerge, and you had a slating with all the names of people that are supposed to move forward. And on the day of the, let's agree, AGM or handling over, everything on the slating board is nothing that we agreed upon as an organization. Then the people, the ESCO, the other ESCO members that were there when you agreed would be like, no, this was not what we agreed. No, we never mentioned this name. In fact, the president decides to bring complete new people on board without the consent or agreement of his other ESCO members. That is betrayal. And it is not fair. In a family where the father agrees that, okay, I will be responsible for this, I will be responsible for that. You know, I would only say that when we were growing up, there were certain things, certain responsibilities that were for fathers. They don't struggle it. Certain responsibilities that were for mothers, they don't struggle it. It was a settled thing. It is now that Nigeria has turned it upside down. You know, when the father knows that, okay, this, and this, as little as it might seem, the responsibilities of the father, he just decides to use the money, perhaps to womanize, to take alcohol, as little as it might seem. He has betrayed the family because it's an agreement that you will do this, I, the wife, will do this. Do I stop there or I still go for that? I think I still have something to say. Betrayal often involves dishonesty. You know, I used organization, I used friendship, I used family as my example. Dishonesty, disloyalty, or revealing secrets. I cried to you and I'm like, I am doomed. Something happened to me. Please, I just want to confide in you. Please don't share this with anybody. I beg you. And while I'm sharing with you, I'm in tears. I am broken. I am shattered. But I just confided in you. I needed to talk to somebody. It's not something that is so pleasant. It's not something that I want people to know about, but I need to pour out my heart. And I went ahead. I told you everything. And lo and behold, I see myself on Facebook. Do you know how heartbreaking that can be? If such a person is not strong, and lo and behold, I become the topic of the church, and lo and behold, I become the topic of the society for trusting in you, that is betrayal, leading to feelings of hurt and disappointment. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for that well-detailed explanation. Now, how can, like I said, how can we recognize it? Which, of course, you've been able to highlight most of the stuff. Now, in life, whatever we do, there are consequences. There is nothing that you do that has no consequences. So looking at this, I know that you've experienced some things, you've seen some things happen. Now, can you please share with us instances of betrayal and how it ended up?
Sometimes ago, in an organization, there was this leader. I will get to the bottom of this deeper. There was this active leader. I used that word, very active. It was a group of 10. And he happens to be the number one. The other 9 members were extremely rich. But the active leader, I want to say something. We are all blessed, either in liquid cash, either with wisdom, either with knowledge, either with understanding. I have people with good liquid that are senseless. This thing is not there, but they have cash. So they began to team against him. That how can somebody that is not as rich as them be their leader? He's a leader and he was delivering. And the group was really emerging. The group was growing. Then they ganged up against him and they removed him. The shocking thing is he actually gathered the group. He formed the group. They were impacting the church. They were impacting the society. I mean, it was doing great. They were delivering. Then they removed him. He couldn't stand the shame. You know, how do they take something that is yours away from you? He couldn't stand the shame. He left completely. You know, self-esteem has a lot to do with this. He left completely and he wasn't part of it again. Then the rich without brain were together, 9 of them. They couldn't do anything. They couldn't achieve anything. They were just there. Like a stinking, it does river flow, like a stinking pond. The money they thought they had couldn't do anything. No idea, no nothing. Nothing was happening for years. And the group died a natural death. After the man left, they couldn't do anything. They couldn't achieve anything. It was a standstill. The brain behind the group was betrayed. Then after about 5 years, one reasonable person among them that was not actually in support. He didn't support it earlier. Brought them back to his warning. The day they planned this betrayal and said, I warned you. Nothing good comes from this kind of a thing. Let's humble ourselves and go back to this man and apologize. Really, there are good people. Really, there are people that just hate to be trashed. Once you trash me, once you mess me up, I, Modupeola Olatunde, will not give you a second chance. I'm a Christian. People tell me I don't have forgiving spirit. No, I am a once beaten, twice shy kind of a person. You know, the man came back humbly. And to the glory of God, the group was resuscitated and things began to happen again. You see, wisdom, availability on the side, the money without brain on the other side. Because they felt they had what he didn't have. They didn't look inward to see what he had that they don't have. So the consequence is the group was on hold for years. There was no success story. There was no activity. There was nothing until they realized life is not just about money. Life is not just about money. It's not just about the liquid. We are all blessed. Our blessings just differs. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Now, betrayal could stem from different things, jealousy, envy, with what you just said, like status and all of that. Now, what would you say drives people to actually manipulate people, oppress people to their own end? And I remember that you told me a story actually about, there was a story you shared with me earlier. Maybe you can discuss that from that angle.
You know, there is this, the last time we had this session, we spoke about a so-called gospel singer that was tagged. You know, there is this tagging about Christianity, that once you are from this side of religion, there are some things that are not expected of you. You understand? Because you're a brand. Having a name on your head to protect. I think I've shared something similar earlier, but I'll share it again. In an organization where there is a routine, there is a constitution of how things are done. You know, You've been in the organization for 10 years. You've been moving, you've been moving from one position to another. You understand? It's an hierarchy, you've been going like that. Muslims were there, they had their tenure, they submitted, they handed over, you understand? Then it got to the time and tenure of a pastor. I am telling you, a very big pastor, always in very expensive suits, you know that title thing, and he just decided to rubbish every constitution, every policy. The most painful part of it, people were not just building this organization. They had given their time, their sacrifices, their money. They had put everything they had into the success of this organization. Then when it was his turn to lead and take this organization to the next level, he just felt all those people behind me that have been sacrificing, that have been putting in their best are trash. I don't think I need them. And he removed all of them. In fact, what he did is unconstitutional. He removed every one of them and brought in people that had never been members of the organization on board. The question is, does such a person, I don't want to use this title now, have any conscience? Do you know why I asked? How does it think these people he rubbished would feel? When they say something is your right, of course, when we sleep, you can't control people's attitudes. You can't control people's acts. You can't control people's character. It is even heartbreaking when you see people that should be examples, people that you should look up to, you understand, doing things that are unspeakable.